Put out by IAP that I got a hold of. It says America's greatest enemy, the Jew.
Well, I've never seen that publication myself. I don't know how many years ago it was put out, or... I mean, I would have to read it before I could comment on it.
Under the name Oxyvision, the IAP produces informational videos on a variety of subjects.
I have heard that there is a tape distributed by Oxyvision that glorifies jihad and the killing of the infidel or the occupier.
I mean, I would have to ask. I don't know about that myself, personally.
You don't know of any types of films that are distributed out of the offices?
I don't know exactly.
IAP's Oxyvision produced this Hamas video, which takes credit for executions, torture, and terrorist operations in Palestine. Our investigation has uncovered more than 30 groups that fund radical Islamic activities and operate under tax-exempt status.
They're engaged in many instances in illegal actions, not collecting money for purposes of simply supporting humanitarian aspects, but for munitions and weapons and military capabilities. And in addition, if you listen to what they're really saying, they're not just aimed at the Israelis. They're not just aimed at the Jewish state. Their goals are completely and totally to eradicate any opposition to Hamas and to Islam and to move against the United States ultimately.
You're not really satisfied with the way Tulare County's been handling this either, right?
It's terrible.
It's a joke.
The sheriffs they told us, the deputies say we're totally outgunned and outnumbered.
Yeah.
But nobody goes in there. You see, anybody that builds a house has to have the water, the sewer, everything else. Okay, Synanon put the sewer in. It was a farce. The county made them do it, because Synanon terrified everybody too.
Right.
But as far as I know, that's our creek that runs from there down through here. My cows wouldn't touch any water down there.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, they have no sewer. And they were having a bucket brigade for the water. Nobody cares what they eat or drink or how they survive, but they are polluting the water, at least I know that.
Right.
But nobody goes in there. The health department, the deputies, nobody. Even when they ran into my fence and knocked that down.
When we first came up here, we weren't sure if we had the right location or not, and we were parked out on the side of the road here, and we had a couple individuals, you know, come out and try and contact us on the side of the road here, and we didn't know who they were, and so we pulled around and we asked for directions at the fire station, and the individual followed us up over the hill as well, and was watching us. Any comment on that? I mean, I find that to be a little suspicious. If I'm just a normal person, you know, I said, well, we didn't know where we were at. We're in a news truck. It says Channel 47 on the dashboard. I mean, we're.
Right. I mean, if you had it like on the side, yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
It's just in the window. And I mean, you have your, you know, we have people come up here all the time who, you know, who might have ill intentions towards us or whatever, and you know, we have to, you know, protect ourselves.
Okay.
And you know, the safety of our community is really important, and we've had, you know, because of our religion is different, and most of us are African American in this neighborhood, and you can see the majority of the other people are, you know, European descent, whichever. And we had some threats towards us, you know, like when the Y2K bug was, you know, all that was going on. We had some threats against the community and stuff. So, because, you know, us being African American, you have some people who are not that friendly, you know, towards people who are, you know, African descent. And so, then you have somebody in the European descent, they're in a truck or they're parked over and they're, you know, checking us out. You know, who are you? You know, so just like if anybody was sitting in front of your house, you want to know, well, who are these people in front of our house? What are they doing sitting there? You know?
Oh, okay. So it's an environment such that you guys feel you have to have, you know, unfortunately, if you do feel this way, that you have to have a gate and men posted at the gate.
Oh, it's nothing different from anybody. Like, you know, the wealthy, what they do is they have gated communities, you know.
Right.
They build cement walls or whatever. I mean, if you go to any, you know, we were in Mexico in haciendas, they have, you know, you have your property is gated, just like all the other properties are gated, you know,
Right.
with fences, and sometimes you can't even, you know, we have an open gate policy as, you know, as it is, and, you know, you can come in and just state your business, and if, you know, you're here to visit somebody or whatever, you know, you're welcome to do that.
What was your name again?
My name is Imani.
Imani?
Yes.
Okay, can you spell that, Imani?
I-M-A-N-I.
Okay, Imani, what can you tell me about the Al Fuqra organization?
Well, like I said, the only thing I know about that particular organization is that they were, how should I say, mislabeled
Okay.
as a radical extremist group or whatever, Islamic group. And so anytime a people stand up for their rights and practice their religion in this society, or people who take their liberty to stand up for the justice in their beliefs, they are labeled, you know, as extremists or terrorists, especially, you know, with the media labeling people who believe in the oneness of God, Allah. They label them as Muslims terrorists. And this is, in essence, to discredit the people and their mission, you know, with this society. And so to say these people are terrorists and things like this, it's trying to, how should I say the word, they try to basically ruin the reputation of these particular people, you know. So from what I understood or know about the people is that they fought for their right to distinguish themselves as believers in one God and have the freedom to practice their religion without oppression from Zionists or Zionist media, you know, influenced media.
Right. Would you say that this organization is sympathetic to that organization, or are you just independent of it altogether?
We are independent. We are the Muslims of the Americas, and we support, you know, the Muslims all around the world. You know, if they're fighting for their right to be Muslims and live in peace without oppression of pornography and alcoholism and drug addiction and Zionist influence. So
okay, and this rural location allows you to
practice our religion freely, you know, with, like I said, without, you know, without being oppressed, without being, you know, without having to feel inferior, you know. And this, you know, this is a Western Judeo-Christian society, and anybody who does anything outside of that are labeled, you know, negatively.
right. And you know, even though there are mosques in Fresno,
There's mosques all over the world.
right? And you still feel the need to have an organization outside of town like this
Well,
to
just
raise your
because-
children, or
I mean, think about it. I mean, even in the mosques, we have a thing that's called a call to prayer. In the city limits, they don't allow the Muslims to use the call to prayer, but they allow the Jews to, you know, to blow their horn, or the Christians to ring the bell, you know. But we call the people to prayer with our voice. And city limits, they won't allow the Muslims to do that.
why is that?
They say it's disturbing because we pray 5 times every day. So there's a call to prayer, and some people say, you know, they might feel that it's an infringement on their rights, but you also have a right to practice your religion in this country. At least you're supposed to. We have our own schools. We want to educate our children about the oneness of God. In the secular schools right now, you have, you know, atheists and things like this teaching your children. So they force the secular concept or secular one world, new world religion on you, and these kids don't have a choice. Our children, they separate themselves. You know, we don't have co-ed education. You know, we have the boys' school and the girls' school, and they have equal education. In this society, you know, you have girls and boys in the same classroom. They can't focus on their own education because, you know, in this society, they allow the women to go half-dressed or, you know, basically naked. So you have fornication in the schools and stuff like that. They give out condoms and things like that. And we say, no, purity and modesty is our way. Peace is our way. You have gang violence in the public schools, all these shit. We don't have those problems.
Right. So anybody from an outside organization, say if you had been aware of Umar Salim's background, he would not have been welcome here? If he does not show negativity, or if he doesn't show, you know, violent behavior or criminal behavior, we don't interrogate a person on their past or their behavior. So we don't know what a person does, you know, in his private life. You know, we're concerned with the public life. We're concerned with the way they treat each other.
and Umar Salim, or the
James Hobson.
He, by understanding, was a peaceful person. He came here, he gave, he did everything he could. That, you know, from what I've known, you know, like I said, we would have never known his past, because what he does in his, you know, private life, that's what he does in his private life. But his public life was peaceful.
When did you hear the gunshots?
Approximately 3.5 weeks ago.
What did it sound like?
Honestly, it sounded like a tank going off. It was just a whoosh, a boom, and another whoosh of air, just echoing through the air.
Now, were you outside and you happened to hear this?
No, I was sitting in the house. I was inside the house and my windows rattled because I could hear the rumble of it coming through the air.
How often do you hear gunshots coming from over there?
At the time, it was every morning. Every single morning they were up there shooting. Every single morning.
And it wasn't that gun, but different guns?
You could hear 12 gauge, you can hear, 308s, you can hear 30-06s, you can hear 22s, you can hear telepistol between a 45 and a 38, and it just nonstop. I mean, they would shoot for 4.5, 5 hours a day in the morning, just nonstop.
Do any of your other neighbors do that?
No, no, not at all. I mean, you got the normal people going out and shooting, ground squirrels and stuff like that to, for ground irrigation, to keep the areas clean, but, nothing like this at all. Nothing. And it really surprised all of us up here.
What do you think when you heard that somebody from the Muslim community was responsible for the death of the sheriff's deputy? And you are a neighbor.
It scares us to death. It scares us to death that we know this is going on up here. And we can't do nothing about it. And nobody will help us and nobody will assist us.
Have you called the sheriff's department?
Several occasions. Several.
What do they tell you?
That they can't do nothing.
Why?
We don't know. We just don't know. We reported it several times, and they turn and say that they can't do nothing because they haven't done nothing illegal. They flat out told us that they can turn around and they can go ahead and if they have a target range, they can shoot.
September 12, 2001, we're on a hogback looking down at the Fuqra compound. This is a Hare Krishna temple here.